Eugene, meticulous planning, it must have been so satisfying for you to see that all played a part in the 100% success rate over in the States.
Yep, like everything that we planned for kind of came to fruition. We kind of plan for everything, but in some sense you can't have too much of a plan. Like in many senses, the plan is not to have a plan, to kind of be ready for everything, because you never know what direction a fight's going to go. Like you don't know what the guy's been doing for 12 weeks, so there is stuff that can like come out of left field that you have to be ready for. But for the most part, what we expected is what we got. Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about the fights? Is his fight, Marvin Vittori, real tough character?
Yeah, real tough character, to be expected. Made a couple of mistakes, but for the most part, the fight went how we wanted it to go. Israel, like most people know, especially from our part of the world, has very high expectations on himself, and I think he even probably had high expectations on himself because the UFC and the fans had quite high expectations, so it pushed his expectations up even higher. He really wanted to get the finish, but he didn't get the finish, so he was a little bit disappointed. But when he let the dust settle and had a look at the fight, you can see that it's a very good performance. Yeah.
The thing is, when you fight somebody, you don't know in 2 years' time they might be first and second in the division. You know, Vittori's a tough fighter. He might be one of the toughest fighters he comes to.
I expect to give some to just move alongside Israel and get get a top 10 ranking eventually. And I expect him to give a lot of good fighters trouble as well, 100%.
And then, of course, on to Atlantic City and first round finish. It was a dream.
Yeah. So again, Dan, everything went to plan for Dan. He got the first round finish, and probably for Dan, like more so in any other camp, what I was impressed with is that he's finally starting to get really good understanding of the system that myself and the other coaches try to teach. Because I've always maintained that what we teach here is kind of a long game, so it takes many years to get proficient at it. You have to put a lot of time into it, and there's other ways to fight that's more of a short game, like come forward, put a lot of pressure on, come forward and build up points, take a few to give to take a few hits to give a few. But we teach more of a long game, like I'm talking about the learning process. Yeah. So what I'm finally seeing with him is that he's starting to really understand it and get a good grasp of that. And I think that came out more in that fight and that training camp than any other fight. And for him, who hasn't been in the system as long as a lot of other fighters I've got, he's going to make still massive improvements. Yeah.
The thing that I commented on was the difference between his previous fight, when he played the waiting game to get the submission. This time it was like take the fight by the scruff of the neck, and he looked like he was in control and reading everything that was happening.
Yeah. So admittedly, I never planned for that much pressure, but I never didn't plan it. Like I let the fighter. You got to let the fighter's instincts kind of, take over in terms of what direction they want the fight to go. If they want to put a little more pressure because they feel comfortable, then they'll do that. If they want to back up because they're not kind of used to the speed and they're not used to what's coming at them, they want to feint a little bit more. But I think Dan, who did some really, really good training with some southpaws, particularly BJ Bland, who's a very good sparring partner in terms of mimicking Jim Miller, felt very comfortable very early and decided that he wanted to just push the pace a little harder from the start, and for him that worked out. Yeah, it worked out really well. So.